Okay, for my next video, I'm going to show you how to fill the corners of a shape, of a mandala shape you make here in ColorMandala. I've been asked about this as well. Let's start with a circle, a big circle. Alright, there you got your big circle, you design your mandala in here. And now you're looking at the corners and they kind of look bare. Well, there's two different things you can do to fill those corners. The first one is add shape. You can use a diamond shape, which I find kind of difficult to use, or you can use a flower shape or open star, which I tend to find a little bit easier to use, or triangle, you can use that as well. Let's do this with the open star, which I think is the easiest shape to use. Alright, now I'm going to try to do here is increase these points here to fill up the space, or to increase into the space and kind of fill it up. But what I want to do is decrease the number of leaves to 4. 4, there we go. And I want to go ahead and the end. You see how they're coming out over the circle? Rotate 50, and now they will go out towards the corners there. I increase the end here, and this is almost kind of looks like a square, except you can see the slight indentation here. You can decrease the start to make it more of a pointy triangle, or increase the start to make it almost a square, and it fills up more of the space. And now if you want your circle to be on top, no problem. All you do is move the open star underneath the circle, and there you go. Okay, that's one way. So now let's get rid of the open star, and I'll show you a different way. The other way is one of my favorite things that I tend to do is I fill the space, the corners up with a bunch of different shapes. And let's do flowers. Alright, you see the flower, it looks like it's going to be too big for the corner here. You do want to stay inside of the lines a bit. You want to give yourself a little bit of a margin, because anything that goes up to the line or passes it might not show up in your final mandala when you save it. So, let's make this circle radius, or the flower radius, 15. And there we go. Now, you've lost the petal, so it doesn't look like much of a flower. It looks like a weird circle. No problem. You can fiddle around with curvature here. You want to actually decrease the curvature until the flower looks like a flower. Alright, now, the next step is add rotation level. You're going to repeat 4 times. 2, 3, 4. And you're going to position at 100. You see they're not in the right position. So the next thing you're going to do is rotate 50. And now they're in position. Not 100% yet, but now they're in position. Now what you want to do is you want to increase position so they come out and they are completely in the corner. Again, remember to give yourself a little bit of space here. You don't want to go all the way. You can also create a special effect by decreasing the position, having the overlap, and maybe putting the circle over and do that type of thing. So let's go back to the traditional standard of having the flower in the corner by itself. Now, the beauty of this is you can do other things too, and you can make the circle look like I don't know, a daisy or a sunflower, or you can make the flower look like a daisy or sunflower by adding circles. Too big, right? No problem. Let's make it, instead of a radius 100, a radius 10. And now, what we did with the flowers, we're going to repeat 4 times. We're going to position it out at 100, which is about the point where it needs to be. And then we are going to rotate it by 50, a factor of 50, so it's going to be in the corner. And then just increase the position until it gets to the spot, the exact spot we want it at. You can make it, once it gets there, you can make it a little bit bigger, or you can make it a little bit smaller, however you want. And if you want to get fancy, let's say size 12. You want to get fancy here, you can add something I like to do, a little square in the middle of the circle, or you can make the square a diamond. I'll show you how to do that as well. Select the polygon, bring it down to size 4. A square is in essence a 4-sided polygon. Add rotation level. Oops. Okay, add rotation level. We're going to be using that, but first radius. We want to decrease the sizes as we've done before with the other elements. Again, the quick way is just put the cursor in there, delete one of the zeros, and bingo, you're at size 10. Now we repeat 4 times. There's your 4 repeats. Position 100. Again, it's over here in this area, not in the corner, but again, we rotate 50. And now we move it into position. And you can increase the size a little bit so that it fills and it touches the edges, or if you like it the way it was originally, you can leave it like that. Now this is obviously a square. If you want it to be a diamond, click on rotation up here and rotate it 50 and watch what happens. Bingo. And if you want, you can stick a little heart in there even, so you have another layer going. Let's try that. Heart. Size is large. Again, we're going to make it smaller. Not that we have small hearts here, but you know. Add rotation level. Repeat 4 times like we did with everything else. Position 100 like we did with everything else. Rotate 50 like we did with everything else. Complete the position. And then we decrease the size so that it fits in that little diamond or square. And there you go. Now, here's a little trick. If you want the heart to be upright, the problem with it is we can do that here, but it's only going to work on 2 of them. Because you see how they rotate? You see this one's rotating into the right position. Oops. Or it was rotating to the right position. But the other ones are, because they're off at different angles, they're rotating into different angles. Unfortunately, the trick to that is going to be very tricky. Yes, very tricky indeed. And it's not going to, the angles don't all correspond with each other, so it's going to be a little off. The best you can do is 2 at a time and have them, at least they'll be mirror image of each other, and then do the other 2, and I'll show you how to do that. Let's get rid of these hearts. Let's add heart again now. Size it again to a reasonable size that we can work with. We'll adjust the exact size we want later. Add rotation level. This time we repeat twice. And we position at 100. And then we rotate. Oops, too much. You'll have to split the difference. You notice at 0 rotation they're in the north-south position. At 50 they're east-west. So you'll have to split the difference, which is 25. And there you go. And now we can more precisely position and precisely resize it so it's the size we want. And now we can play with the rotation up here and drop it to 0. No, I want to do this. And you can get in on some of these elements, you can actually get into negative values. And right there it's positioned the way we want. And then to repeat it for these other corners, we clone shape. And by the way, I've inadvertently showed you another one of my techniques here. I'll go ahead and I'll explain in a minute. We clone shape. This time we want the rotation to be the bottom rotation, the second rotation. At 50, it's going to, notice where it's going to put it. It's going to put it way out there in left field. We don't want that. So again, we split the difference. Last time it was a factor of 25, where we moved it from the north-south to here, so it should be a factor of 25 again. It's at 50 now. We will type in 75, and I expect it to go into the corners, and it did. Alright, and now we play around with this rotation. You notice it's going to be a different number because it's a different angle. And now we've got it. Or you can make this one be the one that's facing down and this one be the one facing up, however you want it. We'll do it that way. Oops. So that the upper one is facing down, and then it kind of looks like a mirror image again. Now, what I was saying, one of the things that I showed you inadvertently is, let's get rid of the little hearts, is what I'm doing with some of my designs is I'm making one set of corners have one element or series of elements, and another set of corners have another set of elements. And this is how you do it. You do two at a time. So you see the two hearts here. Let's say I want something different for this corner. Let's say I want... Oh. Ooh, I love pie. Okay. The pie circle part is a little bit different to change the size on. There's a start and end. We don't need to worry about the start. The start will do this here, open up the middle. We don't want that because we want this actually to be small. We want the middle to be full, or the center to be full. So the end is near. The end is what we're going to play around with. I'll just automatically make it 10. Bingo. I'll repeat it twice. Nope, actually I can't do that here. Repeat it here. If I do that here, I'll repeat it. It's the number of leaves. And you see it's 4 leaves now. I want it to be 8. Here is where I repeat the number of these pie or circle parts that I do. And I click 2. And I'm going to position it at 100. And you see where they go. You see there's 2 of them. And now I'm going to rotate. Oops, again we're running into that problem with the 50, 0. I'm going to rotate it this way. There we go. And now it's probably going to have to be at minus 25 so that it's in the perfect spot. Position. I fine tune the position now. And bingo. There we go. If I want it to fit inside the circle, I just click on end here. Or inside the square, I click on end here, and there we go. And now you've got 2 different elements in these corners, and or a different element in these 2 corners and a different element in those 2 corners. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching this video.